Hey, peepsy doodles, how's it going? So, I'm really sad because I was just laying on the couch because it's my day off and I felt like I just needed some time to lay on the couch, snuggle with my kitty. Hey guys, Mystic, Katie, hey. And I just needed to be able to lay here and snuggle and read my book. So this book was fucking fantastic, by the way. Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie, that last name. So, I wanted to go on to the second one, which was called, instead of Jack the Ripper, it's something with Dracula. And I couldn't get up because my cat was laying on me. So instead of getting up and starting my new book, since my daughter normally gets up here in the next bit or so, can you tell that I laid on this piece of hair here and now it's like ting? I decided to do a live Q&A where you guys can ask me anything you want. Anything. Personal questions, relationship stuff, about my life, about your life, magic stuff, witchy stuff, whatever you guys want to ask, I'm here. Because I feel like I've tried to do Q&As in the past, but I've always tried to do them like on Facebook, and I don't think I've done a live one. So that's kind of so that's kind of what I have for right now. If I get some good questions and I feel like, hi Susan, Samantha, Laura, hold on, I missed some people, Vicky, hi. If I feel like the questions are pretty good and pretty whatever, then I'll post the video. If not, it's just gonna be a fun little hangout, and then we'll and then I'll let you guys know when I gotta go. So Katie, how did you get into your profession? Did you always know you wanted to be a surgeon? So I am a surgical tech, and basically I'm a surgical technologist. So basically what that means is I work in the operating room, so I work in the OR at a hospital, and I am involved in surgeries. So like when you see medical shows where you have like all the teams that are in like the gowns and gloves and they're like surrounding, you have like the surgeon and then you have the other 2 or 3 people that are scrubbed in standing right next to the surgeon performing surgeries. That's what I do. I set up the case, so I set up all of the instrumentation used for surgeries. I help drape the patient, and then I stand right next to the surgeon and I hand him instruments. I hold retractors. So every single day I get to go and be a bloody mess. And in the last year, I became a heart scrub tech. So now I do open heart surgeries. So it is an extremely rewarding job. And the reason that I loved it, I did not always know that it was an actual job. I didn't know that that was a thing. I learned about it from my best friend when I was downstate, who also learned this profession. And so I've always wanted to be in the medical field, but I never wanted to deal with people, which doesn't make any sense, I know, but I grew up in kind of a little bit of a nastier area. I worked at a pharmacy. People were rude, they were mean, especially I wanted to be able to help people but not deal with people. And that is why I love my job, because my patients are sleeping. So I am like the silent helper. Nobody knows what a surgical technologist is normally. They know what a nurse is, they know what a surgeon is, but they don't really know. They always think that the nurse is who's doing what I'm doing. So I get to help people and be quiet about it, because my patients, I don't really have to talk to anybody. So it's fantastic. I actually, when I was little, I was going to get my hair cut by one of my mom's friends. I was little, and I remember her talking about her daughter, and she's like, yeah, my daughter, she hands instruments to doctors in surgery, and she makes really good money. And my mom was like, wow, that's really cool. And I was like, oh, Mom, I want to do that, and I completely forgot about it, and here I am. That's what I'm doing 20 years later, so I think that's really cool. Anyway, so let's see. I see flashes of small blue or purple orbs. What are they? I don't know. I can't see any on my camera, so I don't know. Were you ever in that show, Surgeons, Nurse? Did I ever watch it, or was I in it? Because I was not in it. But I have not watched it either. I swear to Pete, I'm going to lunch in like 20 minutes. Well, at least you got to catch us for like a second. Oh, you mean Oh, it was a question. I got it. I thought you meant like you're seeing on the video little flashes. Around me at random times. Sometimes I see smaller ones on people's faces. That I don't know. They could be, if you're seeing them on people, you could be getting flashes of someone's aura. It could be a lot of things. Energy can play, you know what I'm saying, can affect us all in different ways, and sometimes that may just be how you are seeing things energetically. What's your favorite crystal and why? I've just discovered selenite and love it, but have been having the strangest dreams. I would highly suggest, if you are sleeping with selenite and you're getting crazy dreams, to write the dreams down, because that could be a huge indicator on how selenite affects you, especially if the dreams start coming true and you're getting actual prophetic dreams. Selenite may have that effect on you, so definitely write them down, Amanda. But my favorite crystal and why. I have a really hard time with favorite crystals because I have favorite crystals at different times for different reasons. Like labradorite is one of my favorites just because in general, it's one of my favorites. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the flashes of color in it. I just think that it's a beautiful stone. Blue calcite is one of my favorites for relieving anxiety. Black tourmaline is one of my favorites for clearing negativity. So I have a lot of favorites, but if I had to choose one crystal to just look at the rest of my life, it would probably be labradorite. If I had to choose one crystal to work with the rest of my life, it would probably be blue calcite. Does your family know, this is from Samantha, does your family know your religion, and when did you find out you wanted to do Wicca, and how old were you decided to tell your family, and how did they react? I found out about Wicca when I was 10. We were just getting into the whole internet craze, and I always, Hocus Pocus was my favorite movie growing up. I had little notebooks that I glued eyes onto because I wanted to be my spell books on the bus. And when I was 10, I was on the internet and I found Dorothy Morrison's book, The Craft, and realized that I had to have it. So my mom got it for me for Christmas. She found it, got it for me, and not knowing what it was. And that's when I realized that witchcraft was a real thing and that you could actually be a witch. So after reading through it and realizing that it was a religion and hating catechism and never feeling that connection with Christianity, I dove into every single book that I could find on witchcraft. I told my mother right away, and my mother kind of thought it was a phase. My family is supportive in the way that they don't really judge me, but they also don't really talk about it. It's really not something like, my dad might make a remark like, oh, you and your witchy shit. You got your witchy shit all over. Like when I became a Reiki practitioner and I was at the house giving my mom a Reiki session, he's like, oh, you got all your witchy shit all over the house. So it's not really something that's super discussed, but they all know about it. They know I have a witchy room downstairs. They know, it's just something that's kind of, the people that my husband is very supportive. My friends are very supportive. If I ever need to talk to my mom about anything, she totally listens. She understands where I'm coming from. You know, and a lot of times she's awed by some of the things that I tell her and some of the things that have happened, but it's just not anything that's discussed quite frequently. Fire paradox. If you were to write a witch book, what would you put in it that most authors do not cover? You know what? I would have to say that a lot of authors that write books on witchcraft give you a lot of how-tos, which I love how-tos, don't get me wrong. But I wish that they would cover more the fact that the actual items themselves and the instructions aren't as important as your intention, that intention is magic. Like, your intention behind... I could turn my fucking Nintendo Switch into a magical object if I had enough intention behind it. And I really feel like a lot of authors just want to... And I guess this isn't very nice either, because there's a lot of beginners that need that direction. But I also feel like if they were taught from the beginning that you don't need all of this shit. You don't need to go out and buy black candles. You don't need to go out and buy white candles. You don't need to have fucking candles in general. You don't need herbs. You don't need crystals. That if you just realize that you need your finger and your body and a quiet place and some intention, that you are a very fucking magical person without all of that stuff. And while it probably is covered in a few books, I don't feel like enough authors talk about it. Amaryllis, what do you think about energy poaching? I felt my energy being drained lately, and I don't know if it's all in my head. I guess I've never heard the term energy poaching. I've heard of the term, like, energy vampires. And I think that energy can be drained from a ton of different sources and for a ton of reasons. It can be a very mundane thing, like you're not getting enough sleep at night, the things that you're eating, you're not drinking enough water. It could be that you're around very negative people and that you are around energy vampires. It could also be that you have yourself very open and you may be taking on the energies of other people in a very empathic form. And so that leaves you drained. And so there's a lot of ways, if you look it up on, like, shielding, to kind of keep your energy to yourself and to keep others' energies away and kind of out of your ness. There's also a ton of ways to clear your auric field and to clear your energy field at the end of the day, which is highly recommended. To clear all of the energies that are not your own and to call all of the energies back, because every single interaction that you have with another person throughout the day, think about this, every interaction, you give a little bit of energy of yourself to that person and they give a little bit to you in every interaction. So if you think about that, if you interact with 50 people throughout your day, that's 50 energy exchanges. So no wonder we're all fucking tired all the time. So at the end of the day, it is a great idea to release energy that's not yours and to call all of yours back. Top 5 go-to herbs off the top of your head. Oh God, off the top of my head. Lavender, rosemary, sage, Solomon's root, and hawthorn leaf. You didn't say why. You just said. So there they are. I use them a lot. My friend believes she's talking to fifth dimensional energy entities in her head. Should I put her in the loony bin? No, not necessarily. What does she mean by fifth dimensional entities? Like that she's talking to spirits? Like she has medium abilities? I'll come back to that when I read your response. My question is, do you believe in fate, destiny, karma, and twin souls? To a point on those. Like, I definitely believe in karma. I believe in twin souls. fate and destiny, I believe in to a point, but I don't think that things are bound to happen. Like, I think that you come here with a purpose. Like, I think that Kevin and I were like twin souls to where we are supposed to be together. But we also have, our own thoughts, our own abilities, our own whatever. And so if, we could have made our own conscious decisions to not be together. There's a ton of ways that the universe made things play out for us to meet and for us to be together, but we could have chose other paths and we could have chose not to. So while you may have a destiny to do something, you can also very easily fuck it up and not end up. You do have a way to fight the universe on where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do, I believe. Hey, Piper girl. Hey, Willow. How did you meet your husband? Oh boy. I'll give you the Sparks Notes version because it's a little bit risque. So I was my husband's manager. I was an assistant manager at GameStop. I moved up here. He lived here all of his life. I moved from 3 hours away. And I moved up here with my boyfriend. He had a girlfriend, soon to be fiance. And we met, we clicked, and we fell in love with each other. Hurt some people's feelings in the process, but we really felt like we were meant to be together, and the rest is history. I love meditating but get freezing cold when I do this. Is this spirits or something else? Some people just honestly get cold. Like if I'm going to meditate, I always have a blanket or like a meditation shawl, or I dress really warm because I also get cold when I meditate. So it may be that you're just a cold person, or if you only get cold when you meditate, it may just be that that's how your body is reacting to energy. So dress a little bit warmer. What's your thoughts on elementals? That is like a whole video in itself, because Kevin and I talked actually quite frequently about elementals. We were driving back up and we were talking about, I have a whole couple pages of notes on our thoughts on elementals. So if I have time, I will go get them, because that is a very, very deep topic. But I do believe that elementals exist. I don't believe that they were never human. I do think that there's a big difference between elementals and guardians. And I think that elementals are basically, in a very basic explanation, elementals were created from earth energies to do a specific thing, whether that's to protect a sacred space, whether it's like I said, it's a really big subject. I think I talked about it a little bit in one of my witchy wisdom videos when we were talking about ghosts and spirits. I can't remember if I touched on elementals or not. But yeah, they're basically energies, normally very, very old and powerful energies that are created from the earth. They were never alive. They're not good or evil. They are literally natural. They are nature energies. Well, that's what I think. What is your opinion on pop culture pantheons? Do you mean kind of like how there are people that think that Star Wars people can be turned into gods? Is that what you mean by that? Because if that's what you mean, I can't knock anything. If it works for people, more power to them, because I really think that every single one of us are communicating with the same energy, the same universal energy. So if somebody wants to put a different name on that energy and it still works for them, then more power to them. Sorry. I've been practicing for a year by myself, and now that I've been sharing my life for maybe a month, my cousin, who has been practicing for longer, thinks I'm a fake and copying, but I don't know about her practice until a half a year into mine. That is just your cousin being jealous. That's your cousin having his or her own issues. And so please do not let other people affect your spirituality, because your spirituality is yours and yours alone. And if you let other people, like, that is the only thing that can get you down, is the judgment of other people. So just be like, whatever. I'd have some other choice words, but just ignore it. Please ignore it. Shay Hardest, how have you been? What are twin souls? I actually just started looking into that, because there's a difference between twin souls and there's another terminology. I literally just started looking into this in like the last couple weeks, because I think it has to do with, it's kind of like a fate of like two souls that continue in lives one right after, like they're always together in some form. And I can't remember if they were one soul and they split, and so they're actually, or if they're just called twin souls because they're always together. But I'd have to look into it a little bit more, because like I said, it's something I just actually heard about. Do you believe the Wiccan claim that you shouldn't believe in soulmates because you probably won't end up together in the next life? I don't, because I've never heard of that, actually. That you shouldn't believe in soulmates because you probably won't end up together in the next life. I don't, because I believe that your group of friends, your group of, like, your very, very close family, your very, very close, like, significant others, even people that made a huge impact on your life that you're still speaking with, I think that they all end up in lives together. You know, while Kevin is my soulmate and he's my husband this life, he might be my brother next life. He might be my best friend. He might be my sister. You know, but I still think that all of them end up together. How do you separate your medical knowledge from your spiritual knowledge? For example, how do you separate someone being tired from depression versus being tired from energy vampires? It kind of all works together, honestly. And it's really has a lot to do with the person and them knowing. Like, I can't tell from talking to my husband, you know, I wouldn't be able to tell him, I think that you're being attacked by energy vampires, because I'm not him, and I'm not able to, I'm sorry, there was something moving outside. It's like, ooh, shiny. I'm not able to tell him how he's feeling. Now, me personally, I know how I feel when I'm tired. I know how I feel when I'm having an empathic moment and when I'm taking on somebody else's shit that I don't want. And so I know that it's not mine. And so it kind of is something to where you just know as your personal self whether or not it's something. Now, there are people that are able to tell for you, but I am not one of those people. How do you get back on track when you're in a magic or Wicca slump? I go through these all the time, and sometimes you just need a break. So For me, sometimes it's just lighting a candle in the kitchen that smells really good, lighting some incense, and making some tea that just kind of gets you back into that magical mojo. You Oh, Mystic. You were talking about how Zach from Ghost Adventures called them demons. Zach calls everybody fucking demons, and that is starting to piss me off because I love me some Ghost Adventures. I fucking love them guys, but those guys, not them guys. But Zach and him going on a demonic rampage is starting to really get my goat. If you picking up what I'm throwing down. No, I mean like using pop culture. Oh, sorry, Hayden, back to this. Using pop culture imagery to represent deities in their craft. Isn't that what I said? I think that's what I said. Wasn't it? Like pop culture, like I just used the example of Star Wars, but like to represent like God, goddess, that type of thing. Oh yeah, twin flames is the other one. Twin souls and twin flames. Don't ask me the difference because I don't know right now. Another question, kind of health directed. Do you know any good herbs for progesterone projection or essential oils? My insurance isn't covering my birth control anymore. I'd like a natural way to keep the production going. I don't. That would be something to ask Tiptoe about. Because she is the herby lady. She would know. She would have some stuff. Because I know that black cohosh, is that progesterone or is that estrogen? Because black cohosh is one of the ones that they will give people that are going through their change, so that they don't have to take the medication. But that's something you want to ask Tiptoe, because I don't know, unfortunately. Hey, I answered all your questions. Love muffins. Okay. So, if you guys have any more, you're more than welcome to ask. But, hey, that was fun. I actually answered some stuff. Let me see. Is telepathy, oh my god, telepathy and talking to spirits in your head normal? Does it have to do with schizophrenia? It's actually one of the books that I was just reading. It's called Awakened Psychic, and she talks about mediumship versus schizophrenia. And she said, hold on, how did she differentiate? Because she said, no, voices in your head are not considered normal. But there is a difference between mediumship abilities and psychic abilities, such as telepathy and mediumship, and a mental illness. And I think that it was... I'm going to have to go look, because I never really thought about it. I just always thought, hey, you're hearing ghosts. It is what it is, because I'm like such a paranormal junkie that I never really thought, hey, if people are hearing ghosts, they might actually have some kind of a mental illness. See, and that's kind of one of the things, like someone said earlier, where you're differentiating between the health field and the spiritual field. But there is a difference. There is a definite difference. Oh, that's what it was. Is that with mental illness, you can't shut it off at will. Whereas with psychic abilities, you can choose whether or not you're going to pay attention to them normally. You can control psychic abilities, whereas schizophrenia or mental illnesses, you cannot. How do you get every item you want for your altar without being rich? That is where you kind of have to either make a little witchy goodie list and get things as you can, or go to resale shops. That's a big one. Go to garage sales, because you can find some really awesome magical stuff for really, really cheap. You can look online. There's a lot of, like, on Facebook, they have, like, the Facebook little store thing now where people are selling shit in your area. And another really awesome place to find stuff for your altar is outside, in nature, on beaches, in the woods, in your backyard. So yeah. Please, my channel linked in the description. I'm a fans you. Perfect. For storage things, for tinctures or wine bottles, or saving glass or plastic items to reuse. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, my kitty's sleeping. I can't believe my baby's still sleeping. That's the craziest shit I ever did here in my life. Alright. I suppose I should venture somewhere and do something. My Reiki class is this weekend. No, Ray Beats, I ain't going to do nothing right now. I'm busy. You stop it right now. I'm doing a video. I'm going to check shit out right now. My Reiki class is this weekend, and I go back and forth from being excited to shitting bricks. So this should be fun to see what happens. Because I'm like, I want to say I'm a procrastinator, but there's a better word for it, because I feel like procrastination has such a negative connotation to it, and my procrastination always yields really good results, because I really have to be in the mood to do things with anything. And so I always have awesome results. I just, so I've kind of been procrastinating. I mean, all my stuff is done. It's just going over the little final touches, which means I'll probably do that like Friday night, because that's what I do. But anyway, all right. Thanks, Love Muffins, for hanging out with me today. I'm gonna go and oh, Katie, I'm so glad I put you in a good mood. I'm glad you're able to be here. Thank you guys all for being here. Ray Beats, we're gonna fight, sir. Stop it. Remove. Done. Oh, I didn't want to do that. There. That's how I do that. Band. I don't mess with that shit. Like, stop fucking with me. Alright. This was fun. Thank you guys all for hanging out. Well, hi, other mystic. There's 2 mystics now. How do you feel about natal charts? I don't know how I feel about them, because I don't do much with them. I haven't done anything with them, so I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. Alright, for reals, I'm gonna go. Y'all have a fantabulous rest of your windy, cold Wednesday. At least it's windy and cold here. Have you ever been to Chesaning? Shut up, Christina! Chesaning, Michigan, that is where my grandparents live. My dad was born and raised in Chesaning. My brother went to school in New Lothrop. So that's actually pretty funny. Funny. All my family is from there. Yeah. Well, my dad's side of the family is all in the Chesaning, New Lothrop, Montrose area. That is so funny. We're not, so don't be thinking y'all's gonna come find me there, because I ain't there. Oh my gosh, isn't it funny? It's such a small world. What time is it either? Next Witchy Wisdom, I don't know. Technically, the next Witchy Wisdom is supposed to be the 13th, but the 13th is Monday, and it's pretty much right after my Reiki class, so I don't really have. It's probably not going to happen because I don't really have a. I'll let you guys know. It'll be back. Don't worry. It will be back. Just not quite yet. Maybe the end of November. I'll let you know. Don't worry. Okay. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go and eat something that's not good for me. Probably that bucket of Halloween candy that's right there. All right. Love y'all. Bye.